now turn up.
Hey, do you want the new games? Have you tried Division? Do you want to try No Man's Sky? How about Overwatch, Mirror's Edge, Mafia 3, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Gears of War 4, Doom, any of those games? Well, you got the chance. You got the chance to pick your own game. Click the text to learn more. What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Hercule. I'm here again with another video. Before we get started, I just want to, out of respect, play a few seconds of taps out of respect for the soldiers who gave their lives for our country. As someone who's in the military, I can definitely understand where they're coming from. So if you can, again, join me in this respect for the soldiers, I'll definitely understand. It's not going to be long, I promise. Just, I want to give their respect to the soldiers who gave their lives for our country. Okay, welcome back. If you stayed, thank you. It really means a lot. If you can, please like this video, share with your friends, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, whatever. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I put out 2 or 3 videos a week. I try to do great content with great quality, something different from all the millions of other YouTubers. But anyways, we got that out the way. Let's talk about this movie, 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Bengahzi. Whoa. This definitely was a sleeper hit for most. For me, because I'm in the military, I can relate to a lot of these military movies. So basically movies like Black Hawk Down or Saving Private Ryan, those movies really stand out for me. But this one right here, it was totally different. The most surprising thing about this movie was that it was directed by Michael Bay. Now, I know what you're saying. Michael Bay, he makes Transformer movies, Ninja Turtle movies, Bad Boys movies, movies with a whole bunch of explosions. But this one, even though it did have its explosions, it fit because, you know, the Taliban, they like to use rocket launchers. That's mainly where the explosions came from. Rocket launchers and grenade launchers, things of that nature. It's nothing really too big like a Michael Bay big budget film. This wasn't even a big budget film. And if I recall, this movie came out in January 2016. It wasn't really marketed towards the audience like Transformers is or Bad Boys or the Ninja Turtles are. It was a military movie. Most military movies don't get big marketing budgets, but this one, as far as the movie itself, it was real. You can really feel yourself put into this movie. So if you don't know what this movie is about, it's about this guy named Jack who is a contractor. He was special forces, but obviously he got out. So obviously it's hard out there to make money when you're outside the military. So he got a contracting job to go to Benghazi. Basically, it was a security mission. That's what he's doing. Security mission for 2 months, made some money, boom, return home to his family. What he didn't realize is that his security mission turned into a war zone mission. Basically, his training from special forces definitely came in handy. He was kicking ass. His brothers was kicking ass. Everyone was kicking ass. I don't mean that in an action type of manner. I mean that in a military type of manner, a tactical type of manner. You know, if you're in the military, you would definitely appreciate this movie. It definitely would hit home. I mean, myself, I've never been downrange, or if you're not in the military, that is deployed in a hostile environment. I've never been downrange, and I can't really say that I know how it feels to be in that type of environment. But from the training and the stories I hear from my higher ups or people who have been deployed, I definitely know what it is to be like. I definitely know how it is to feel to someone have your back, to trust somebody, you know, to be tactical with it, to not just go in guns blazing like you see people do on Call of Duty or whatever game you may play. This was one of the most realistic military movies that I've ever seen. And the fact that it's directed by Michael Bay, out of all people. In fact, I didn't even realize that it was directed by Michael Bay until the movie was over. I was so engrossed into the movie and it had those touching moments into it. I didn't realize that it was directed by Michael Bay until the movie was over. And when I sing directed by Michael Bay, what the fuck? I'm like, I would have never imagined that. I'm thinking of some other type of director who doesn't make big budget films, but it was Michael Bay. Now I don't know what the budget is for this movie, but I will put it up on the screen probably right here. And I don't think it was a big budget, but I will tell you this: it was definitely one of the most realistic movies I've seen. And I know I keep saying that, but it was definitely realistic. Everything in that movie could have really happened. In fact, it was based on a true story about the ambassador who was killed, and they was trying to save him, but the CIA, the civilians personnel, that's what I call them. I mean, they're not really civilians, but they're not soldiers. So military people, we call people who are not soldiers civilians. That's what we do. I'm sorry, but that's what we do. So anyway, the CIA civilians, they had to get clearance to try to save the ambassador. And you know, the soldiers, or the contractors, I should say, ex-soldiers who are special forces, rangers, all that good stuff, they wanted to help them because, you know, they put their life on the line for the country. They never leave a fallen comrade behind, and they wanted to help this ambassador out. But because they couldn't get clearance, the ambassador had to die. Well, he didn't have to die, but it was too late for them to be saved. But I tell you what, when it was time for them to hold down their base, they did it in a way that you didn't think was possible. They was definitely outnumbered. I tell you that. It was 6 personnel on rooftops shooting down hundreds, maybe even thousands of Taliban. And we're not just talking about regular Taliban who runs with car bombs. No, these were kind of sophisticated Taliban. They had freaking rocket launchers. They had grenades. They had their assault rifles. I mean, their real assault rifles, not those fake ass handguns that you call assault rifles. You know, they had some type of tactics. They even had mortars where a guy drove his car, took coordinates down on his phone, drove back to his base or his area, whatever you want to call it, and they shot mortars. You know, so 6 people had to defend the civilian population inside of their FOB or forward operating base. I'm sorry, I'm just military personnel coming out of me. But they had to defend the civilian side, who is not real fighters. They're the technical, geeky people. They had to defend that. And they did it with great tactics. You could just welcome them home. You would definitely applaud them. You know, this movie, it really touched home with me. And you know, obviously all military movies have that one sad part that really gets to your heart. And this one has it as well. It has it. And it's, man, I'm trying not to it right now because it's a touching movie. And again, the fact that it's directed by Michael Bay, out of all people, all directors, you know, you can usually look at a movie and say, oh, that's directed by so-and-so. Oh, this one's directed by Michael Bay. Oh, this one over here, this one's directed by J.J. Abrams. Oh, this one over here, this one's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. You can definitely figure out what director directed what movie. But this movie, if you didn't have those credits, you would have never known that it was directed by Michael Bay. Again, it has some explosions in it that maybe took it a bit too far, but didn't take away from the movie. And I should have known that it was kind of a Michael Bay movie because it did have a lot, and I mean a lot, of lens flares in it. But again, it didn't take away from the movie. I watched this movie 3 times, and this movie is a 2.5 hour movie. And I watched it 3 times, and I loved it. You know, I don't get bored of it. I mean, obviously the first 2 or 3 minutes are kind of boring, but after that, it's intense. I'm glued to it. I'm attached to this movie. Maybe because I'm in the military myself. But if you're a fan of military movies, I would definitely recommend you watching this movie right here. Pick it up on Blu-ray and DVD and own it and add it to your military collection. This is one of the best military movies that I've seen in a while. And Black Hawk Down's probably my second favorite. Also, American Sniper. How can I forget that movie? American Sniper is up there. That is what this movie reminds me of. American Sniper. You know, American Sniper, Black Hawk Down, and Saving Private Ryan. Those movies right there are top calibers of military movies, and this fits it just well. It's based on a true story. It's one of the most realistic movies I've seen in a very long time. Nothing really seemed fake or anything like that. I couldn't tell what was CGI and I couldn't tell what was real. 'Cause everything looked so real. It was like someone just had a very badass camera and took footage of what happened down there in Benghazi. That's how good that it looked. Usually I can tell, oh, that looks so fake. You can usually tell. But this movie, I couldn't do it. So again, one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Especially one of the best military movies that I've seen in a while. That's all I got. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. But always comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this movie, because I love this movie. Subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Hercules, and I'm out of here. Peace.